All right, so we have been studying about the world's natural resources. We went from observing objects in a classroom and thinking about all the classrooms in the world and what natural resources all the other countries, nations have, and how it's unevenly distributed, which means they're not spread out through Earth at the same with the same number of materials. Um, and then we've zoomed in a little bit more just about the U.S. and we've been collecting rocks. Just doing an activity where you had to virtually collect rocks and throughout states and minerals as well. Obviously, minerals like gold, diamond, topaz, talc, all that stuff. And now we're gonna look specifically at Utah and specifically about geological resources, which means minerals. So in this episode, you will compare maps. So you're gonna pick up one map. You're gonna pick one map, but then you're gonna be comparing the rest of those maps to the one that you pick. With a geological Utah map and look at patterns in the distribution of resources, you will be able to explain how the distribution of resources in Utah is caused by the underlying geology. So if you look at this list right here, you're gonna have a list of many different minerals, right? So you have your precious gems, you have topaz, red beryl, garnet, agate, aquamarine, amethyst, and then you have your building materials, limestone, sand, clay, building stone, and gravel. Your fossils, gilsonite, tar, asphalt, oil, shale, sands, coal, gas, oil, your salines, calcite, potash, gypsum, and salt, salt, Great Salt Lake. And then your metals, zinc, lead, copper, iron, silver, gold, and that's it. So over here is some of the maps of some of these precious stones or other natural resources like fossil fuels. So if you look, for example, at oil map, I'm like, I wonder where oil is taken out from Utah, and you got right here, right? You got a really good map of some places, and or for example, you're like, I wonder where there's gold in Utah. So you open up right here the gold deposits that you have, like some of Salt Lake right here, Salt Lake City, and then you have Magna, St. George, Idaho over here. So you're gonna have a lot of different places to look at, and then you're like, okay, I wonder when there's salt in Utah, and let's see. Oh yeah, well, the Great Salt Lake right there, right? So the salt deposits right there. Um, so you can kind of see a little bit of where these resources are, and if you want, you can open up a Utah map if you're unsure about where these are, right? So you can kind of have that there and kind of like compare to the Utah map. You can kind of match a little bit, all right? And then once you selected a mineral, so you can only select one. So of all of these maps, you're gonna have to select one of these minerals. And then you're gonna have to do some research. You're gonna have to find online what are some uses for the resource. Okay, we have gold. Like, what do we use it for? We don't really have gold coins going around. So what do we use gold for? And then why is this resource important? Or salt, right? So why is Great Salt Lake so important for us as far as salt goes? Or if you look at like limestone, right? It says a building material, but why do we use limestone as a building material? Why is that even important? Why do we even use it? Or oil and gas and coal and how come why is coal used for, and how come we don't use coal right now to power the engines of trains anymore? You saw in cartoons so long ago, in all cartoons you have a train going and somebody like dumping coal into the fire to make the train go faster or the train actually work. But we don't do that anymore. We don't see people doing that. So why is coal even important nowadays even? All right, and then you're gonna have to make a prediction. Why do you think this resource is found or mined in the first place? So again, like um, why do we even need it, right? Um, compare the map of your resources with a geological map. So this part right here is when you have to compare your map with all the other maps that you have and kind of try to like match it a little bit. What other resources are found in the same as yours? If there's none, you can write none. But if there's a lot of other resources, you can probably match it. So I would actually try to look at different maps at the same time. This part is going to take you about 30 minutes to 45 minutes or more. It can even take you up to an hour and a half if you're comparing all the maps properly. So spend a lot of time, try to pull up as many maps as you can and compare them to the ones that you picked. So you're gonna have to spend a lot of time in here. So even though there's a few questions. All right, now after you're done comparing all the maps, you're gonna have to make a claim. So you can't just make a claim and say like, oh, why? I don't know. I just wrote it down. You have to make sure that your claim is sustained and supported by the maps you have observed. If you were to find this resource somewhere in an area, what the area around this resource look like? So this is where I want you guys to spend a lot of time here comparing maps, including the map of Utah. So why would the area look like? Right. So if you, for example, like look at gold, in the story that we read about the diamond hoax, we found that these people went to this area and found, for example, like precious metals with their footprints. That was a clue that that was a misclue. That was something that was wrong. Somebody just planted it there on purpose. So that's why it was a hoax. So we want to make sure that we know exactly what this resource could look like if nobody's messing with you. All right, or what the area looks like. Find information from two sources that backs up your claim. So now you're gonna have to find some sources. So if you, for example, make a claim, right, of what this area looks like, you're gonna have to find online and find some resource. So again, this is gonna take you a lot of time. It's gonna give you another 30 minutes to complete. So this is a good 2-day activity, right? And then you're gonna have to find two sources. And what is the geology like where your resource is found? So you're gonna have to look it up later. So this right here you're gonna do without the internet. This is just gonna be what you think, what your prediction is gonna be, and this is gonna be you're actually gonna go to the internet and find it and find the answer. And then for 4, you're gonna look at everything that you've learned, and then just write your conclusion right there. I guess you don't have to do this part right here. I don't know why that's there. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, that's it.